Alright, so this is going to be the quickest video probably of this course. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware because I made this mistake once in the past. And so long story short, we're on Storage Treasures. This can apply to any website that you use. This is really mostly for online storage auctions, okay? The purpose of this is to show you guys that not all vehicles are included even if the auction is in delinquent status. Some vehicles online are not included in the actual auction. And I want you guys to avoid bidding a lot of money on it and then regretting it later after you realize the vehicle is not part of the auction. So one thing that you'll have to look at here is this is a auction that's ending pretty close to me here, and it's ending in 21 hours. And so I've done this in the past where I have not read over here, and sometimes it's not even here, it's below, kind of sneaky like, and I have not read that, and I bid a lot of money thinking I'm going to win a vehicle, when all reality it's just the stuff that's included in the unit and the vehicle's not included, okay? So the first thing you have to do when you're at an online auction on any websites, some websites the vehicles are included, some websites you're only auctioning on a vehicle. There's some storage facilities that you can rent spaces for vehicles and they'll auction the vehicle off by itself. And then there's some cases like this where there's a storage unit with a bunch of stuff, but the motorcycle's not included. So the first thing you have to do to avoid this mistake that I made was you have to make sure that you read if the vehicle's included. And in this case, motorcycle and pictures is not included, not part of the auction, okay? So don't and once you bid, you're done. If I bid $2,000 on this unit, I don't have to pay $2,000. I pay whatever the bid ends at, but I'm responsible for that bid. And if I don't pay, then they'll cancel my account, which you don't want that happening, right? So you always need to read if the motor vehicle or motorcycle or anything with an engine is indeed included in the sale, okay? Also, a little tip, guys. Some people ask this question, but there is some vehicles that people put in there to avoid getting them repoed because they still owe money on them. That's a whole nother ball game. I'm not going to go into that because it depends on state laws, okay? But you also have to take that in consideration. Don't think just because you want a vehicle that it's yours, you can just get new plates on it and call it good. This doesn't happen very often. It's like literally 4% of the time. But 4% of the time you may get a car or vehicle that is actually has a loan out on it and is in repossession, and they put it in the locker so they don't get it repoed. And you need to check your state and local laws. It very rarely happens. Rarely will you find that situation. And keep in mind too, when you go to live auctions, okay, let's say you go to live auctions and you go to this one here, the auctioneer will let you know if the vehicle is included in the auction. And in my experience with live auctions, 9 times out of 10, most of the time the vehicles are included, okay? For some odd reason, sometimes online auctions, the vehicles are not included, okay? So you just need to be aware. Now, Storage Treasures does it both ways. Sometimes the vehicle's included, sometimes it's not. So just keep that in mind. But you always need to look at the fine print before you bid when you see a vehicle. That way you don't overspend. All right, guys.